We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. These are my hosts, Jackie Zaccoli, globally, the Gen Network, and Megan Deers. She's also global. She is very strongly involved with White EA. And then Maria from the UK. She's also global, working a lot with Africa. And I'm Carol Witt, and I am the founder and director for White EA Global. And we have the exciting guest. I'm so excited to hear her story because she is somebody very different than what we've had on before. And that is Michelle. Michelle, we would love to have you come and inspire us and inspire our listeners. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, Jackie, for reaching out. As I was saying here before we started, I don't believe in coincidences. There's always alignment and purpose, and this is exactly where I need to be. So lots to my story. Quick synopsis. I actually currently live off-grid. 40 acres outside of Heber, Arizona, northeast of Heber, Arizona, in the White Mountains, coming up on a year now. And when they say a lot of things change in a year, oh boy, do they. What I'm actually sitting in is a 53-foot uh old refrigerated trailer that is converted to part of my house. I'm actually working on adding another one. And the challenges that have gone with that, and not just with that, but the challenges that have come with life involved with that. I've been working with horses professionally as a trainer instructor for 35 plus years, became a life coach, equine assisted, let's see, well, oh, geez. 14 years? No, 10 years, 11 years ago. This December, I graduated with my master's in counseling psychology in the field of equine assisted mental health from Prescott College, and went down this path, combining my unique skill sets of both personally and professionally with horses. Been riding most of my life. The first word out of my mouth was always horse, not mom and dad. Just that passion. Horses have saved my life, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And there's a lot more to it, but I think the biggest part, the inspiration, um, after the first of the year-ish, I am launching my 6-week online program called Confidence Through Connection. And it's Lead Like a Woman, Love Like a Horse. And it is for recently single women. And whether it's divorce, death, or a personal one that I'm still dealing with actually, but dealt with in this last year that made major life changes, is domestic violence. Unfortunately, I have become now a victim of domestic violence off grid. I live about 30 miles from the closest town, literally 9 miles off the main road, in a county that is small compared to Phoenix area in Arizona. Um, Long story short, I divorced my second ex in October of 2020, hang on, two, and separated. And that we had our issues. Obviously, I chose to divorce him. Back in the end of 2023, early 2024, he came back into my life. I was in process. I'd already purchased this vacant land. There's nothing up here but vacant land, and started working to pay it off and do something for myself completely on my own. Worked my butt off, had contracts done in the Phoenix Valley, all sorts of things, doing the equine assisted, and I absolutely love what horses can do for us. They bring us in the present moment, get us grounded, show us what we need, give us what we need. They are truth detectors. You cannot lie to these guys. Trust me, I've tried most of my life, gave it up. Just a little too much like work. And anyway, long story short, started developing the property. The ex came back into the picture. Things appear to have shifted. Started back up a relationship with him, move forward. Basically a year in Christmas, January, moved up to my off-grid 100%. Everything's gone. I wrote a book in and published it in November of 2022 called Looking Within. It is anonymous stories of my clients, some of the powerful ones, both kids, adults, families, couples, you name it, and whatnot, on how horses help us shift. And so I named this ranch the Looking Within Ranch because that's what I do. And it is part of Spirit Mountain, but this is the next phase. I never thought I'd look within as much as I have in this last year. Moving off grid had its challenges, moving up in the winter time. I'm originally from Wisconsin, so I know cold, but had to remember lots of different things, how to manage electricity because, well, the sun doesn't shine all the time, and water freezes and pick something. Was living in my camper trailer, lots of stress, lots of grief, which I was expecting because I was leaving a lifestyle, leaving comforts. I did question my sanity for quite a while, going, I have no backup plan. I mean, everything in the valley is gone. This is what I have. I did fully pay for the property. I do own it free and clear on my own. Um, and figured out ways. Being a self-employment, you can't just necessarily go get regular funding, but I figured out how to do it and then paid it off. Um, but I was aware that I was going to have these challenges and that I'd have to grieve the loss of, a normal lifestyle. But I felt it was time to go. My daughter graduated this May from high school. She's now in college over in Embry-Riddle in Prescott Valley, Prescott area, Arizona. And I'd said, and I had completely forgotten about it. She was like 8 or 9 years old. I said, when she graduates, I won't stay in the valley. I knew I'd outgrow it and where it'd outgrow me or whatever it was. It just doesn't resonate anymore. So I did. And I'm following my passions and my dreams. The ex coming back into the picture seemed like a good idea, seemed like things had changed. There were its stresses, its moments, but in the year and a half we'd been separated and physically divorced, etc. Um, I did a lot of healing with my horses, with my counselor, with my therapist, with life. I work with a lot of addicts, recovering addicts. I always joke it's not recovering from your addict, it's recovering from life. Addiction's just one of those coping skills that doesn't serve a whole lot of good anymore. I like to use calming skills because that's what horses teach us. How to calm our system, be in the present moment, ground ourselves, that sort of thing. Boy, I didn't know how much I'd need that. So got through the winter. Muddled through it would probably be a better idea, but did survive, figured things out. Mostly what didn't work, quit doing it, and started planning for summer. I have chickens, I have horses, chickens, and now a dog. Lost one of the dogs in February, which I knew, and had another dog, which I did lose in July, but recently got a new dog who aligns with me so well. Um, March was actually working on building a new chicken coop with my ex. We'd had our issues, but I'd learned to set my boundaries and not feel guilty for setting them. Being able to say no because it didn't work for me. Being able to say, look, I'm willing to work with you, but I'm not willing to tolerate this anymore. I developed a strong sense of negotiables and non-negotiables, deal breakers, for the first time in my life, and was actually standing in my own power. Um, we were working on the chicken coop, and some horrible news came in. His dad, who worked for Hickman's Eggs, was badly burned in a work accident, near death. And that changed everything. I stayed at the ranch for obvious reasons. He went back down to the valley. I have rented some land to the ex-in-laws and that, and never had a good relationship with them anyway. But, okay, supported my ex as much as I could, but I noticed some big changes, and my animals were showing me that. And just started pulling back, saying some things, looking for help, support, didn't receive it. And within basically the end of May, I knew the relationship needed to end. It became very toxic, disregard of boundaries, etc., etc. I'm going to say very disempowering. I wasn't allowing it, but that's what was happening. I saw old behaviors come up very clearly, and control, manipulation, you name it. And I do believe because the loss of control, death, we can't control death. That's reality. And really saw clarity and set a boundary and was trying to have a discussion with him, um, and said, I'm not willing to tolerate this anymore. And that night at the end of May, he threatened my life. He threatened to kill me. Got physical in my face and lost his mind. I was strong enough at that point to not engage it. That's where my horses have saved my life, because I finally realized not only the work that I did for myself, on myself with my horses and the reflective. Being a trainer, I worked with a lot of horses who had issues that weren't mine. But part of a trainer was to help them become authentic and become the horse they're meant to be. And I started using that information that this wasn't about me this time. This was about what was around me and how do I use my skills to keep myself safe. I mean, honestly, in my career, I've had horses try to kill me because of their traumas. And I use the word trauma as anything that disconnects us from who we are. We all carry it to some degree.
Mm.
And the awareness of that and moving through it. And some things that happened in previous months where I finally lost a lot of my fear. I wasn't living as high in survival mode as I had. I could see things clearly and move through that. And anyway, when he threatened, I didn't panic this time. I did not give him the same response that he'd always received from me before, because I wasn't there anymore. I wasn't that same woman when I married him 8, 9 years ago. I wasn't the same woman that divorced him either. And I stayed calm, I responded and whatnot, and got clarity that this was a deal breaker. This relationship was done. And what ensued was horrific. He left, and within 8, 9 hours, I received over 200 text messages threatening everything from my livelihood to my animals to this. I actually fled for my life that night, living in a camper trailer without locks. The locks, we'd never used them. They had broken. Okay, no, didn't feel we needed it. We lived off grid. Never did I expect that the threat was actually going to come from within my circle, not outside of my circle. But that's where most of domestic violence happens, is within that circle. Um, I had contact the sheriffs, filed reports, got an order of protection. He promptly walked through that multiple times through emails, contacting. I documented everything. I did everything by the book. Um, because horses work in what I call absolutes. A horse is going to give you a fair warning. A lot of people say they just kick me. Well, if you're paying attention, no, they don't just kick you. They don't just bite you. They give you warnings. Now, some are overt and some are covert. Some are quieter than others. Trust me, I've dealt with all of them. But it's being aware in that present moment and reading the signs. So, um, I understood the behaviors. I understood the patterns. And I fled from my life, literally took my dog and left. That night he came to the ranch and did threaten to kill me. He stalked me, threatened to kill my horses, my animals, everything. Uh, all the information was sent to the sheriff's office, documented, the order of protection was granted, and he continued to walk through it through emails and other things. That was the end of May. It was very stressful for a bit because he did get arrested for some issues and served the order of protection. He was released on bond. My ex-in-laws posted that bond, and to the detriment of everybody involved. Because what happened later on, I never saw coming and never thought I'd be there, but I was. Um, he continued to violate the order of protection. I continued to document. I was told by law enforcement to carry a weapon, which I at one point had a carry concealed weapons permit for my handgun. I knew how to use it and was very comfortable with the gun, so I carried it. That's why I'd had it a long time ago for when I was working with horses and other things that I was doing, needed that protection. Started carrying it, documenting, etc. I received notification that the ex was going to protest the order of protection. We had a court date on June 19th. I was in my camper. I'd put jingle bells on the door, figured out things to protect myself and give myself an early warning detection system um, before I could get everything. Everything was on order. It just takes time up here. We don't get things like overnight like we do down in the Phoenix Valley from Amazon. The camper has two bunk beds. I called the bottom bunk where I was sleeping the cave, gave me the best advantage. At approximately 4:45 a.m. on June 19th, after receiving multiple emails after midnight, threatening me, trying to suck me back in and feel sympathy for him, empathy, you name it, everything known to mankind, he entered my camper and threatened to kill me and pin me in the corner. I was forced to shoot him. I was forced to use deadly force to protect myself. Something I never wanted to experience in my life, but I had no choice. Immediately, I called 911 once he vacated the camper. I was screaming, "Get out," you name it. He put on quite the act. "Oh, I love you," all this garbage. I was on dispatch for quite some time. Um, he did go over to the ex-in-laws, his parents' place, and they started heading out. He was apprehended, taken to the hospital area, evac'd out. I was detained. There are no charges filed against me. It's just procedure, but I went through almost 12 hours at a substation with the police and investigations, interrogations, all the stuff you see that you never thought you'd experience. Well, I did. Um, but I, for once in my life, unequivocally chose myself. No questions asked. And Not that I ever want anyone to go through that situation, but my purpose has become very clear. He has now been in county jail since the end of June. He is facing felony charges, um, and is going back to prison at this point. This is not the first time he's gone to prison. I have learned so much about myself, resiliency, strength, how my horses have supported me, my animals, how they've kept me somewhat sane, um, how to know what the truth is and what's not, how to authentically connect back to myself, and for once actually build my true confidence
Mm.
as Shell and not who everybody's around me. I'm currently working with my therapist, doing EMDR. I've worked with her for years, to release the traumas, not so much from around this last year and a half. Believe it or not, that has not affected me. It's all this abuse and neglect and manipulation, gaslighting that I went through in the 6 years or so that I was married to him, plus dad issues, mom issues, life issues. I am breaking karmic cycles, um, and healing on a profound level, and now being called to share the confidence through connection. And like I said, not just with domestic violence, but with divorce, horrible breakups, toxics, whatever, death. I call it the 3 Ds: domestic violence, death, and divorce. Those are unfortunately kind of the three things to
Wow.
help empower women that go through this, to hopefully give them, not hopefully, but to give them the tools and strength and confidence to get out of these situations before it comes to this. Now, my situation is somewhat unique because I do live off grid, but I chose to do that. That was my higher calling, my higher purpose.
Mm.
And to share this story and share the empowerment of how horses have now literally saved my life and the shifts I've seen with my two minis and the two big guys, because one mini's gonna be 32, the other one's 6, and the 6-year-old is the newest one. I used to keep everybody separate, the big guys from the little guys. I have seen amazing, amazing integration and cohesion of my herd where I'm not afraid to put them together anymore. All 4 horses represent a part of me that I have seen as I've gone through this
Mm.
journey. And not just right now, but especially right now. And I turn them out together a lot. They have their moments. We all have our moments. But to watch the cohesiveness and shifting, to have my new dog, her nickname is Liberty, but her full name is, or Libby, her full name is Liberty. And she fits. I've had many dogs in my life, but this dog is meeting me where I'm at. I went to a local no-kill shelter here up in the White Mountains. Uh, Pet Allies, great shout out to these guys, amazing people. I've been looking at this dog, just kept being called from the website, and went in, met her, and didn't even look at another dog.
Cool.
3 weeks today, been with me, and just
Cool.
fits, just fits. Grounds me when I need grounding. I mean,
Wow.
a barn dog, she's shifting. Even it just, the synchronicities are endless. And then Jackie reaching out just in this moment. Um, there's still a lot of work to do. Still in the legal process, but I have learned one thing about Arizona. Arizona is nearly number one, if not number one, for victim services, and the support I have received is absolutely mind-blowing to actually be supported and not be ridiculed, blamed, shamed, and all those things that I have suffered from
Mm.
that and
Wow.
and
Wow,
that.
Michelle. Wow. Thank
That's
you. Thank you
basically the
for,
nutshell of my story.
yeah,
I'm at right
yeah.
now.
Thank you for, oh my goodness, for honestly, for sharing it with so many women that actually need to hear this.
Yes.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
not alone,
Yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately. And this is becoming a bigger problem that we need to talk about. And not just domestic violence, but toxic relationships, you know,
Yes.
abusive relationships, these sort of things. We don't need to stand in this anymore. We need to shift this.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
and,
Absolutely. And
and it's
it takes
women, it's
somebody
starting
like
there, but it's
you.
also men too. Men deal with this as well.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but the
Yeah.
right alignment will happen when it needs to.
And it takes
Mhm.
someone like you sharing their story for other women to see what's going on in their lives and
Yeah.
and to take a stand to,
I have a major quote that showed itself recently that I
yeah,
think says everything.
go ahead.
I survived things that were meant to destroy me.
Can you say that again?
I have survived things that were meant to destroy me.
Mm,
And when I read that and was
yeah.
working with my counselor with that, I burst into tears. One, realizing, first of all, that things were done to destroy me
Mm,
and literally kill me. And two, that I survived them,
mhm. For a
which
bigger purpose.
I can do it. We all can do it. It's
Mhm.
not easy. That word never comes out of my mouth, but name me something in your life that's worthwhile that was easy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Worthwhile, it's not going to be easy, but that's what makes it worthwhile.
absolutely. Jackie, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
First of all, open up the chat.
It
Second
is
of
open.
all,
It's
oh,
open.
you did it again. Okay. Um, yeah, second of all, what one comment, maybe that's it. Maybe that is. I mean, now that I've been hearing you, I'm changing what I'm going to ask you, but
Mhm.
what comment, because there are women all over the world and we see them in Africa all the time in the YEA type of thing that they don't say it much, but we know something's happening. Is there one thing that you could tell them that would help them to get that strength?
I've got a notebook here that I keep writing down quotes so I can see them. And it's open. I was paging through and trying to figure out, I kind of go with the moment because that's what I do with horses. And it's hitting me as soon as you said that, Jackie. I'm not losing hope. I'm finally putting hope where it can grow.
Ooh, nice. Really nice.
Oh,
Jackie, will you put that in the chat?
I'm
Yeah,
putting it. Oh, yes, I will.
thank you.
Where
Wow.
I can,
Because
where,
when we feel hopeless, nothing grows.
Yep.
where it can or I can finally grow.
It can grow, whatever works, both.
If
Okay.
you're speaking to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got to have hope, even if
Mhm.
it's that little tiny spark. Something I teach clients, like building a campfire. You gotta have a spark. Most of us take a spark and try to put a log on it and burn out the spark. Or life does it for us, and
Or
it's
pour water on it.
pour water on it or whatever, but it's nurturing, holding on to that spark and knowing that at the right time it will grow, but it needs to be nurtured, it needs to be taken care of, and we have to do it for ourselves first, not
Mm,
anyone else. We have
absolutely. Megan, you have your
self
hand up. Go ahead.
first in order to give back.
Mhm.
And that's not selfishness, that becomes selflessness.
Mhm.
Yes.
As I tell my clients, I'm the only one living in this body. I got to take care of me.
Yeah. Megan, go ahead. You have your hand
Sure.
up.
Thank you, Carol, Michelle. Thank you so, so much. And first thing I absolutely have to say is well done, you. Just for getting to that point where you have decided that that is the route I'm taking. This is the purpose I'm following, and this is how I stand up for myself. This is what I need to do. Because I think that is, as Carol mentioned, the kind of thing that all of us need to see it, right? I mean, I think most women and men, there have been many of them as well, caught up in toxic relationships, caught up in that situation where it could go either way. And many people still tend to,
Yep.
sort of doubt themselves
That
rather than put their boundaries in place and work out their plan B and their plan of action. So well done you, and sending you all the hugs and strength. And I'm so glad to hear that you have the support, especially in the legal aspect of things. And, just from those who are by your side right now, to be able to help you through this and see it through to the end. But well done you, and thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Maria, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so, so much, Michelle. Amazing. I wrote something down that you said, traumas stop us being who we were meant to be. And
Just
I think I
like
can really
right on.
relate. I can really relate to that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
in different ways, not the same as you, but in different ways. And so by acknowledging those traumas and actually working through them, you find those bits of you that were kind of missing in the picture of who you really are.
Absolutely. And I don't think they're missing, they're buried. Trauma disconnects.
Buried,
They're
buried,
covered. They're
Covered.
covered.
It gets
covered.
Mm,
layered in garbage and everything else.
Yeah.
And traumas aren't necessarily big things. There are a lot of little things. They can be big things. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
Mhm.
We all deal with them, and it disconnects us, disempowers us from who we are. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And horses really help us do that. And, I there's so many word shifts. I mean, 7% of our communication is verbal. That's scientifically proven. 93% is body language and other things. There's 53. I don't remember all the details at the moment, but words are still important. And I see these word shifts lately. We've gone from avoidance to acknowledgement. What you're saying is that just acknowledging. Sometimes that's all we need to acknowledge is
yeah,
I feel like garbage. I feel disconnected. I feel whatever. It may be deeper than that. As we say in recovery, never compare your story. Our stories are different. I'm
yeah,
different,
absolutely.
but we can
I have
rest.
one other question, if I may. Is it by riding the horses, or is it just by being with them, or is it a
Everything I
combination of all of it?
is on the ground right now. Eventually, I do want to bring in pieces. There's the bigger visions, but right now, everything is actually kind of at a standstill in person, just because of all this fallout going on around me and everything else. But I think it's been divine pausing to actually heal and do what I need to do, and take this message because I can use technology to my advantage,
Yeah.
to share the story, and in the right time, things
Mm,
will ground itself back here. But the message has got to be put out that, you know, we don't have to stay in these states. We don't have to stay disconnected. We
Mm.
can, that's Spirit Mountain's mission statement. It's very simple. Reconnect people with their true selves. I had to read it.
mm.
Oh, beautiful. So beautiful. Okay,
That's
so
it.
so
And
guys,
how I do it is through
thank
horses.
yeah.
My
Thank you
story.
so much, Michelle, for being so authentic, for sharing your heart, for I mean, really and truly, for just taking us through something that a lot of us kind of identify with that are out there listening, us included. We all have dealt with some different things in our lives, and thank you for giving every woman a place to know there's hope.
Absolutely.
See, there are a lot of women out there that
Right there.
feel hopeless,
But
and you have just said to them, "Mm-mm, there's hope.
there is hope.
There's
Absolutely.
always hope." And thank you. Michelle.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me share my story. And
We are so thrilled that you have been our guest today. Thank you.
thank you.
All right, guys. So good. We do these episodes every week. We do one on Mondays and 2 on Friday. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to one of us on LinkedIn. We're all over LinkedIn. Please reach out to one of us and let us know you have a story, and it's only your story, but it can inspire many. Really, it can inspire many. And guys, there's no story that's better than another. Every story has a place, and it has a place on this platform. So please bring it. We love sharing this with many, many of our listeners. Thank you. And thank you for all the people that are subscribing to our channel. If you love these episodes, please subscribe, comment, and please share it out. Your network is not my network. Please share it with many, many more. So more women that feel hopeless can have hope. Thank you once again, Michelle. And guys, we all deserve to thrive. Let's do it together. Strength is our power. Bye, everyone.